Hi, today I'm going to show you how to make continuous yarn from a piece of fabric. This could be a piece of fabric you've got lying around, a piece of fabric you've bought, or an old sheet from a bed. So you can use this fabric yarn for all sorts of crafting projects. You can use it for crocheting, knitting, locker hooking, anything you like. You could make bags, mats, rugs, lots of great crafting ideas. So I'm Christine from christinescrafts.com, and this channel is all about crafting on a budget. So let's get started. You're going to take your fabric and fold it in half. So you fold it in half so your two side edges are together, okay, perfectly lined up like that. And then the rest of the fabric is probably quite bulky, so you can fold it again, but make sure that that new fold does not reach your edges. Those two edges need to be together and separate to that fold. We're going to cut through that fold, but we're not going to cut through the edges. So how are you going to do this? Well, you can do it with a rotary cutter and a ruler, or if you don't have that, or if you just prefer, you can use scissors. So in this video, I'm going to use scissors. Now you decide on how wide you want your yarn to be. Now I'm going to suggest 1/2 inch is a pretty good size. I'm going to make mine really wide because I've got a certain bag project in mind for it that I think will be good. So I'm going to make mine 3 squares wide. You can see I've got the gingham fabric, so it's very easy for me. What you do is you just measure 1/2 inch from the top of your fabric, or for my case 3 squares, and cut along from the folded edge all the way across, but do not cut through those two edges you left together right at the side. So as you can see, I've cut through the folded bit, but I've not cut through the sides of the fabric. Now I'm just readjusting that fold because I didn't like it so near those edges. You'll find that if you keep that fold a little bit further away, it's easier to stop just precisely where you want to. So you cut all the way across, but not through those edges. So where do you stop? It's entirely up to you. You might find that you stop 1/2 inch from the end and it feels a little bit too short or too wide. But I'd experiment. If you're doing them 1/2 inch wide, stopping 1/2 inch from the edge should be a reasonable place to stop. So as you can see, I'm just carrying on down the fabric, just making sure they're all about the same width. Don't worry about that. It doesn't have to be exactly precise, but about the same width. And then you just keep cutting down your fabric until you've used as much of it as you want to get the length of yarn you want. Just remember, as I was pointing to there, not to cut through your edges. So you're still going to have, it'll be very scrappy, but one giant piece of fabric still. Don't worry, I'm not going to show you the entire piece of fabric I've got, but I want to do a few lengths so you can get the idea of how to proceed. So once you've cut as much of your fabric as you want, you need to start thinking about the next step. Okay, so you can see I've got all these loose strips. First thing to do is just move those back out the way so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, you don't have to, but it just makes it easier. They're not going to get caught up in any of the snipping we're about to do. So starting from your top edge where you started cutting, we're just going to deal with the top piece of fabric, not the bottom one. Leave the bottom one alone. You're going to go one strip in and cut through the end. It feels a little bit scary cutting through the ends, but you're fine. Now you're going to count 2 strips and cut through again. Count another 2 strips. You must always count 2 strips and cut again. 2 strips and cut again, and just keep going all the way down as far as you've gone on your piece of fabric. Once you're happy, peel those back out the way, and we're now going to deal with the bottom piece of fabric. This time from the top, you need to count 2 strips in, or you'll just cut a little strip off the top of your fabric. So count 2 strips and then cut. 2 strips and then cut. 2 strips and then cut. And just keep going doing that, always counting 2 strips. And that's it. You will have a continuous length of fabric if you've done it right. If you're nervous about this, how about just doing the top 2 or 3 strips and making sure it's worked? Once you've got them all cut, off you go. You can just roll it all up into a ball so that it's ready for whatever craft project you've got in mind. Now at this point, when you start rolling it up, you might realise you should have snipped a bit nearer the edges, in which case you can always just add another little snip in, just extend those strips. As you can see, you get a lot of yarn out of your fabric, and you can really create whatever you want with it. I recommend balling it all up like this just so it doesn't get in a mess. If you find when you're turning it into a ball it's getting all twisted up, just adjust the way you're making the ball. You'll see I changed to just rolling it in my fingers so that it doesn't twist. And that's it. You'll have a nice ball of fabric yarn that you can use for your craft projects. I can now carry on down mine if I want to and just keep going with what I was doing. And you can do the same, so you don't have to commit to the whole sheet of fabric straight away. So thank you for watching and good luck with making your continuous yarn. Please subscribe below and take a look around on my channel and try all the videos out and give us a thumbs up. Bye.